Firewatch is an indie game from developer Campo Santo. It follows the story of a man who takes a job as a firewatch in a national park, a job he's told is typically taken by people who want to isolate themselves from the world.
But it's here in the vast expanse of the forest that Henry is able to make a connection, and some new discoveries too.
You're going fishing without a license?
It's one fish.
No, I won't tell anyone you're a poacher.
I'm headed off to Shoshone, where the birds and the bees won't know me. Men and women won't exist no more, and there ain't no gals to keep no score. I'm headed off to Shoshone, where the elk and the owls won't know me, where there ain't no judges to whom I gotta plead, 'cause I can be me in old Shoshone.
This is a story-based game, so we won't discuss too much of the narrative. But it involves a lot of dialogue choice with quite an intense character setup at the start through these decisions, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's rich and detailed. It feels authentic. It's a human story that's told in such a way that you feel an instant ownership and connection to Henry, which I think is really important when you're making decisions that you want to care about.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a really clever way to set the scene, but I was also a little surprised because it feels almost like you play through a kind of first act or prologue before you get to the meat of the game. And yet that prologue was so emotionally draining, I was exhausted before I even started.
Yeah, it's full on.
So what's wrong with you?
Excuse me?
People take this job to get away from something.
But I think to get you into the headspace of this character who has taken a job in this incredibly remote location, you really need that clear motivation. And it works, but you're not entirely alone. In a nearby tower, another ranger by the name of Delilah talks to you over your radio to explain your duties and teach you the ropes.
Hello? Whoever this is?
It's Henry, right?
Yeah.
I'm Delilah.
Yeah, that's what the guy said on the phone.
Delilah is immediately likable. The voice acting for both her and Henry is truly genuine, and they have an instant rapport.
God, you are the whitest man. Wow. I don't need a spotting scope for that. And if not shorts, then what do you normally like to wear?
Though you do control that to an extent with the dialogue choices you make.
Tuxedos as often as possible.
Oh, really?
You bet.
How cosmopolitan. I didn't realize Boulder was so chic.
It is the peak of high society.
Good to know, dear, yes.
You may also recognize Henry's voice as actor Rich Sommer from Mad Men.
Okay, I think I am ready to tackle my long-term commitment of keeping this national forest safe from total destruction.
The voice acting was crucial for me. This game is essentially a walk 'em up, but ultimately the real story is told through the conversations that you have with Delilah.
Yeah, well, you're not the first boss to be guilty of that.
Just the writing is so incredible, isn't it? It's so natural and believable.
Absolutely, and it's quite similar to an online relationship where you're isolated and you can't see the other person, and it takes on that same quality that leads the character to be more open and more candid.
I was with this guy, Javier. Ugh, he's incredible, caring, sexy as hell. He was a driller down in Casper. We dated for almost 5 years.
Yeah, I noticed even just with the dialogue options that I chose, I was eager to find out more about her and reveal personal things about myself simply because she was a mystery.
I walked over and asked her what her major was because I thought she was a student, not a prof.
Smooth.
And I was, so alone. She's like a lifeline in many ways.
Yeah, they've done such a good job with those conversations over the two-way. They just felt like real conversations, especially because you've got that little respond timer counting down, so you're encouraged to reply quickly and not just ignore her.
A pretty thick beard.
Oh, have you always had a beard?
Plus, in a practical sense, she's been doing this job a long time, so she knows the area. She's your guide. She tells you how to navigate the terrain, where all the supply caches are, talks you through your duties.
So, what should I do now? What's next?
What's next? What do you think is next?
So you do become close.
Soon, however, the game takes a kind of thrilling turn as you notice some strange happenings in the mountains. A mysterious figure, evidence that you're being watched. Some hikers are reported missing.
We have to tell someone.
Tell them what?
Both you and Delilah start to fear for your safety and must work together to uncover the forest secrets.
I think we should allow for the possibility that this is all just a big misunderstanding, but God, if you saw what you said you did.
Hex, you know I'm not usually a fan of the walk 'em up genre, but this really turned me around. It's totally engaging.
I mean, would we even call this a walk 'em up though?
I think so. You're moving about the environment. There's not much to interact with. You're reading notes and picking up stuff and throwing it on the ground.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose. But even just the way you climb and rappel your way through the wilderness, the narrative choice, and just the items you interact with. You know, I associate walk 'em ups with being more abstract or arty, whereas this is definitely a game. You get a fulfilling game experience out of this.
You're still walking it up, though. I see this more as a welcome evolution from that walker experience. It cuts the fat. It never drags, really, or forces you to retrace steps. And you can sprint, which is a big deal. You don't have a ball and chain attached to your leg.
Is that right?
I do like how intuitive navigating the environment is and all those climbing actions. That all worked really well. I wish the world was a little more open world, though. The map kind of opens up in a way that serves the story, so I hit the odd invisible wall.
You know, I didn't mind that at all, and I think that's because they've done it in a very cleverly designed way. Very rarely did I come across a bramble that needed a specific tool to break through it. The rest of the time, you just feel compelled to explore certain areas or drawn in a particular direction because of where the story is taking you, where the interest is.
I do think they did a fantastic job of putting things in the world to catch your eye and pull you through, but I still would have liked a little more free reign of the landscape to feel fully lost in a world like this. It's not that big a deal, but some areas felt locked off for no reason.
Oh, but that's just it. I don't think it does feel that way, really.
Wow, there's an old, I think it's called a medicine wheel out here.
In fact, there were times I'd returned to places I thought I'd already been, but it turns out I'd kind of only wandered past it. It's smart design, and I think necessary for the mysterious aspects of the story to reveal themselves to you.
What did you think of the story?
I liked it, but without spoiling anything, I was a little bit let down by the ending. I just didn't get that payoff that I was looking for.
Yeah, I think they could have done a lot more with it and taken it in a whole bunch of different directions, but I also really liked that this felt like a real story, something that could have happened. And it really is a story about these characters, more than anything else, I think.
Yeah, I guess I was just kind of left feeling like I wanted something more there. That said, while I'm not sure there's a whole lot of replayability in terms of the choices you make, there's still plenty to talk about with other people who've played the game because the decisions you do make certainly make it more personal.
Yeah, I really liked talking about those differences. What did you name the turtle?
I didn't find the turtle!
You didn't find the turtle?
Oh my gosh!
Oh, he's really cute.
Now I do want to play it again.
I called mine Shelley Duvall.
I don't know. There's some weird stuff going on.
Aw, man. Something you definitely do find, though, is a backpack with supplies and a disposable camera for you to take some snaps with. As someone who compulsively screenshots visually beautiful games like this, I really appreciated that little detail. Especially with the limited number of shots, you know, going back to old film days. The pressure to line up that perfect photo.
Yeah, it only plays into the story loosely, but I do like the feature. It makes you stop and appreciate the art.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can access and upload the photos at the end if you want, and even get them printed and mailed out to you. Which seems like a bizarrely unnecessary feature to me, but people I know have already done it.
I do that every year. I take screenshots of all the games that I've played over the year and make a little art book.
That's right, I've seen you do that.
All the creepy characters.
Final thoughts?
I absolutely love this game. I think why it works is because you're always fully engaged with the story and the characters. You're never left lost in tedious game design. It just holds you, and it doesn't hurt that the game looks beautiful, so I'm giving it 4 stars.
Yeah, I liked it a lot, particularly the way the characters are set up through that narrative choice prologue at the beginning.
I've had one too many bad experiences with tequila. I'm a little reticent to try it again.
But while I loved seeing the relationship between Henry and Delilah develop, the sort of larger story for me was a little disappointing and unrefined. You know, I was left with questions and just really wanting more, so I'm giving it 3 stars. You did a bad job of watching for fire.
Yeah, we wouldn't be good at it.
Studio is burning down.
I shouldn't be here, but I am.
Well, in the meantime, you are here, and it's beautiful, and escaping isn't always something bad.